Stand by to fall in, Polk County. This is today's veteran. Hello and welcome, and on behalf of everyone at the Polk County Office of Veteran Services, thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Tim Kirkhart, and on this installment of today's Veteran, we talk about whole health life as a concept of care for veterans enrolled within the James A. Haley system. The human body and mind have tremendous healing abilities that we can work to strengthen together. Your health team wants to support you in this endeavor. This whole health model is a holistic look at the many areas of life that can affect your health, your work environment, relationships, diet, sleep patterns, and more. Joining us in studio today is Dr. Jacquelyn Paykel, and she is the whole health coordinator at James A. Haley VA Medical Center in Tampa, Florida. Welcome, Dr. Paykel.
Thank you very much.
Let's get started. What is whole health? What does that mean?
Whole health is really a different type of medicine that we're going to be doing. We're implementing this throughout the country. This has actually been legislated. Last year, President Obama signed into law the CARA legislation. And so that's the Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act. And what we're going to be doing is really focusing on what the veteran needs and what their perception of what is important to them and directing their health care according to that. So it's really personalized and very proactive. The veterans will play a significant role in the type of health care that they're receiving.
Okay. Why is it a priority at this time?
It's very important, first of all, because of the opioid crisis that we have in the country. And that's why the law came to be. But in addition to that, it's really about our healthcare system in the United States is not doing very well. We are spending a whole lot of money and we're not getting very good results. And so at this point, we're going to be moving in the direction of not just health, but also well-being, and really giving the control back to the veteran or back to the patient, so that they can move in a direction that is much healthier for them, but much more fulfilling in their life as well.
Okay, so it's in its infancy. Any results so far? I mean, is it looking good or?
So we are one of 18 sites in the country that are a flagship at James A. Haley. And so we're the only one in Florida that has actually been named a flagship site. But there are several that have, several sites around the country actually, that have been design sites. So they have not implemented the whole system of whole health, but one portion of it. There's 3 different aspects to the whole health system. They've had some significant results as far as health and well-being, reduction of healthcare costs, but significant improvement in quality of life.
What services will James A. Haley provide for the veteran?
So there's going to be lots of things that will be brand new for the veterans. So it's going to be really exciting we're hoping that we're going to see our veterans that are currently in the system benefit from this, but also others enter the system because of it. But this is something new that others in the community don't have as far as healthcare systems are concerned. First of all, when they come into the system, they'll be assigned a health coach. And this individual is not necessarily a healthcare professional, but will be assigned to them to help them navigate the healthcare system. And then that will be a constant point of contact that they can make as needed. That will direct them to different resources that may be helpful to them in their quest for health and well-being. But in addition to that, we're going to have offerings such as Tai Chi and yoga, mindfulness, chiropractic care, acupuncture. There's going to be, significant offerings as far as education is concerned. So there are so many things that we're going to be offering within the next 1 to 2 years, and we'll see this come to fruition, and we'll open our doors pretty much, we're thinking March 1st of this next year. We want to make sure that the services are available when we start advertising it, so that there is some traction immediately, and so we can offer the services that we're promising to.
So the veteran interaction is very important. What about a veteran who doesn't want to come in, or who misses an appointment, or like they're here at Haley or at Lakeland one time a year they see their primary care?
Right.
What would happen, or could this work for them, that they don't want to come in, or they don't come in on a regular basis?
Absolutely, this can work for them. As a matter of fact, one of our goals is to create community partnerships so that the veterans can access services near them, so that they don't have to come into one of the CBOCs or into James Haley. That's really an important goal for us, is to establish these partnerships. We've begun that, but we are certainly in pursuit of other partnerships to develop. But in addition to that, we are very concerned about our veterans who don't want to come into the system. First of all, the perspective of what the VA healthcare system actually offers, I think this is going to change considerably. So we want them to give us an opportunity to show them how things have changed. But this is a very positive and proactive aspect as far as healthcare is concerned. We still want to pay attention to their illnesses and their chronic health concerns, but this is a whole lot more than that. So we want them to live a fulfilling life, and we hope that they come in not necessarily for regular visits, but to implement these wellness things in their lives that we can really help them with.
Okay. Does this, it's going to be at James Haley. What about at the outlying facilities, such as the CBOCs or the vet centers or things like that? How's that going to work? So
we are definitely planning on having offerings at the CBOCs, whether it's yoga and Tai Chi, or it's massage therapy, etc. And at the vet centers, we are just initiating our conversations with them, but it is our goal to take educational offerings to them, and also treatment modalities such as the yoga and the Tai Chi as far as chronic pain is concerned. It's really important for us to have a positive impact for all veterans in our community, not just those that choose us as healthcare providers.
Say Polk County, you know, we're 40 miles, 35 miles from James Haley. How do you perceive that working as far as even space? Like at the CBOC in Lakeland, it's, you know, they don't have room for the doctors. So how about these, you know, some of these programs to help the veterans? Is that going to have to go off campus, or how's that go? Do you know how that's going to work? Sure.
So that's one of the very important reasons why the community outreach is so important, because we do have a memorandum of understanding with the YMCA. And so utilizing their space, contracting their space, and even contracting some of their providers, we will be able to get that accomplished. But we are going to be looking for all sorts of different spaces. In addition, we'll see new clinics that are going to be built, and our hope is that we will actually have a bus that comes out to provide some of the care, one-on-one care, as far as acupuncture is concerned, and chiropractic care, that sort of thing. So there's lots of different opportunities that we have as far as bringing health care out to where the veteran is, as opposed to having them travel in to see us at James Haley.
And we're looking at So has the program started, or is it about to start, like you said?
Right, it's about to start. Right now, we're hiring different individuals to come on our team. It's going to be a quite sizable team, actually, and arranging space actually around the James Haley Hospital so that we can implement these changes. But we anticipate that the veterans, this will be available to them as of March 1st.
Okay, so this is going to work with the doctors, nurses, to help with this whole health concept. That's the plan.
Yes, and so we're doing lots of education as far as the staff is concerned right now. And it's amazing how much support we've had through leadership and through the leadership of the different services that we offer already. They are very much looking forward to whole health, but it's really important that we understand that for us to treat veterans, patients well, it is also very important for the staff to be well. And so part of these educational processes will be for the employee as well, not just for the veterans.
Give us a scenario, say a veteran comes in and he is catastrophically disabled. What services might be available to him or her as far as the whole health? Maybe not being able to do the physical or some of the programs that are planned.
Yeah, so right now our polytrauma center really does do whole health. They have been doing it for a number of years. Whether it is water therapy and having, for instance, we have a treadmill that is underwater so that we can help the veteran who's not able to ambulate or walk on earth, basically, but help them as far as their recovery is concerned. But also there's adaptive yoga, there's adaptive sports that we have a wonderful recreation therapy department that assists the veterans in finding things that are available to them at the capacity that they're able to function right now. Art therapy is another thing, and we have a new grant as far as an art therapist is concerned. So moving in the direction of really from head to toe, mind, body, and spirit, assisting them as far as their healing process. But I would say that our Polytrauma Center has been doing this for a number of years already.
Okay. Well, I know in Polk County we have, I don't know if it's called art therapy, but we have a program here that is in different locations where the art helps the veterans to either adjust or whatever. Would a program like that be included, or how would that work? How would the Polk County art situation either be enhanced or helped by your program?
I think that that's a wonderful opportunity for a community partnership, and certainly we need to explore that because it's very important for all of our veterans. You said 30 to 40 miles, that's quite a distance to travel, but if there is something local that they can get involved in, we will assist them in that direction. So I think that's very important.
Okay, so it's going to be like a referral service from the PACT, I think they call it, with the primary care and the nurses and things like that. So
actually our goal is that whole health is a service unto itself, but it's actually an umbrella service. We will impact all of the services across the network as far as healthcare is concerned at James Haley. But we're hoping and planning that there will be one consult that comes into whole health. We have a pool of individuals that will be able to decipher what the best plan of action according to what the veteran wants, of course, and get those veterans into the treatment plan or the treatment areas that they would like to explore. And so it's really about understanding what's available and getting the veterans to what they would like to participate in.
Okay. Well, Dr. Paykel, we're about out of time for this segment. Can you stick around and talk some more?
Absolutely. I would love that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be back with more of today's veteran right after this.
I've never been the type to ask for help, but I had enough.
Thank you for calling the Veterans Crisis Line. How can I help you?
Life still has its challenges, but my family and I can deal with them better now. Veterans Crisis Line. It's your call.
Welcome back to today's Veteran. I'm your host, Tim Kirkhart. Did you know that your diet, your exercise routine, your sleep patterns, your relationships, and work environment, they all are connected, and they are all important part of what you can do to enhance your own self-care. We're back with Dr. Paykel, who is the Whole Health Service Chief
That's right.
at James A. Haley VA Medical Center.
That's
Thanks
right.
for coming back.
Thank you.
I did not ask in the first chance to speak with you, what's your background? Where do you come from, and how did you get to James A. Haley and what you're doing now?
Well, I am originally from Wisconsin, spent 5 years in the United States Navy, and was located in Virginia that entire time. But since that time, after I completed my residency in obstetrics and gynecology, I spent 5 years in the Navy, and then after that, completed a fellowship in integrative medicine. Integrative medicine, and that was 2 years in length, but that is holistic medicine. So I've had, and that was about 10 years ago that I completed that training. So it's been a long-standing effort on my behalf to integrate whole health care. We call integrative medicine in the VA, we call that whole health. And I've been integrating that for about a decade in my practice. I came down here about 3 years ago and was asked to come down so that I could start a women's center whole health integrative medicine practice in gynecology. And was very successful at that, but then all of a sudden this significant opportunity came along, and so here we are, and with a national endeavor as far as whole health is concerned.
So you've been with James A. Haley for how long?
3 years.
3 years.
Mm-hmm. Since November of 2014. But it's been a wonderful opportunity. And I would say for anybody who is looking, for any of my colleagues who are looking for a wonderful opportunity to really engage in healthcare the way that we wanted to when we came into medical school, this is where they should be. They should be in the VA healthcare system.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if a veteran, the veteran has a choice, right,
Mm-hmm.
of what they want to do or what services you have. Is it planned to be a continuing service that they make use of, or is it something that will have a termination date, or how do you foresee that?
So we have funding for that's provided by Central VA and our local VISN office. We have funding that is in duration for 3 years. However, beyond that, the way the payment system is set up is that if we could get folks involved, this will be an ongoing service. And the full intention by Mr. Battle and the executive team is that this is going to be integrated into our healthcare system, and it is not going anywhere, because we know that it works and we know that people are better for it. So the priority, and I intend, and everybody that I've spoken with at the executive level definitely intend for this to continue on forever in our healthcare system.
So the veteran is in one of your programs, and he or she decides they don't want to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Are they free to, I'm sure they're free to do that.
Sure, absolutely. This is really about helping them where they want to go. That's why this is so unique. It's really about understanding what their needs are in their life, not just with their health, but with their entire life, mind, body, spirit, but what are the situations that they're facing on a daily basis. We want to help them with that. And so life changes. And when those life changes occur, we will be there with them, and they can pursue other interests, or they can continue on in the path that they've been going already.
So can they begin a program and not participate and then just come back to it? I mean, is that a decision that they can make, or would it have to be reapproved? Or
No, that's a decision that they can make. Again, it's because life changes, and we can't anticipate that we can do the same thing whether our health is different or our situation at home is different, or we temporarily have to move out of the area. We are very open to helping them where they need to be.
is there a possibility of doing more than one program?
Mm-hmm.
And is it, can that flip-flop back and forth also?
Absolutely. So when the veteran comes into the system, whether it's a new individual that's entering and they learn about this in orientation, or their provider currently sends them to the whole health service, what they'll do is come through an orientation, either in a group or a one-on-one with a coach, and then we will guide them. So that's called the pathway when they come in, and they learn about the services. And then we have two other tracks. We have a clinical track and we have a well-being track. The well-being track is lots of educational opportunities and group classes, and the clinical track is one-on-one care. In that, in the clinical track, we'll actually focus on having the personal health inventory, which is a tool that we use so that the veteran can really decipher what is important to them and why is their health important to them. And that will be those will be the questions that the providers in the PACT team and throughout the specialty services will address every time they come in to see somebody. So that's part of clinical care, but also we'll have acupuncture and chiropractic care, massage therapy. Those will be one-on-one interactions. But we have multiple different programs that we have, and so not everything is going to appeal to everybody. So there's definitely choices. If they find out after a couple of sessions that it's just not for them, then they can speak with their health coach and move on to the next thing that may be of interest.
So the health coach will be the first step.
Right, that's exactly right. And this is a wonderful opportunity. Many of them are peers, veterans themselves, that understand the system and have had personal health concerns that they've addressed successfully. And I think that it's very powerful for veterans to speak with veterans and guide them on their way as far as their health and well-being.
And is this for veterans only, or how does, can their families be involved? How is that going to work, or is that in the plan?
This is something that's near and dear to my heart because I certainly wasn't alone when I was on active duty, right? I had my husband and my 3 sons with me, and everybody experienced that active duty change of environment, but also the stressors that go along with that. And so we have made it a point that families will be able to be involved in the majority of the educational opportunities and group classes, et cetera. So involving the family members is very important.
How will that work? Will they also come in with the veteran to start with and see the coach?
That's right, and then we'll get them registered, and they won't necessarily receive their health care with the VA, but these educational opportunities they certainly will be able to, in the mindfulness classes and yoga and Tai Chi. Those are all available, will be all available to family members, and they can participate either when the veteran is there or not. Those will be drop-in classes, and so then they just sign their name in when they walk in the room and enjoy the opportunity.
Sounds like something that, with your background, that you really push for the family involvement.
I do. It's very important to me. I know that my husband, just speaking personally, my husband's career definitely took a turn when we were moving around, first of all, for my education and then for my active duty obligation. And he has been he was the primary care, or he was the primary support for the children. And our family members have to get credit for that. You know, there are a lot of stressors that the civilian population isn't exposed to that our active duty family members are exposed to. So it is very important to me. And it's important to our staff as well. Many of them were active duty themselves. Actually, about 30% of us were active duty previously, and their family members have experienced similar.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, similar stressors.
You're very passionate about it.
Yeah.
Tell us again when do we think the services will be available?
March 1st. We're anticipating that we'll be making our first offerings at that time. We really want to make sure that things are in line so that we have ample opportunity when there's inquiry or when there's somebody who wants to participate, that we have availability for that, especially having our coaches on board. That's going to be very important. So we're hiring over 70 people for this service, and so we're just onboarding those folks now, and so we have to get everybody trained up and educated, and we need to make sure that it's a seamless process that decreases the frustration level as much as possible. That's our goal.
What would the qualification be for a coach?
So coach, very good question. They need to have a 4-year degree or equivalent experience. They don't necessarily have to be a veteran, but if they're a veteran or a family member of a veteran, that certainly is a qualifier there. We are getting all sorts of inquiries about this, whether they're physical therapists that want to do it, or social workers, or nurses, or LPNs, or somebody who studied public health. There's lots of different people, lots of different resources that we have in the community as far as this is concerned. I am certain that we're going to be, and we're actually, as far as the coaches are concerned, we're planning on employing over 20 coaches to begin with, and probably more thereafter. But we're looking at all sorts of people with different backgrounds.
Is the program being advertised now for when the veteran goes to their primary care? I mean, how is that? How are they going to know when it's here?
Well, they're going to know by us speaking about it, certainly. But in addition to that, we're going to be advertising it throughout the hospital system, but we'll be sending out group emails, a mass mailing, on radio, where we really want as many veterans as possible. The other thing, too, is that one thing, I was at a conference recently and had the opportunity to speak with Dr. Shulkin about this process and whole health in general. And he made the specific emphasis that we really need to get active duty personnel as they are coming out into the civilian sector. We need to address that immediately. And that's what we're planning on doing. We're planning on participating in that. And I know that we're going to be offering mental health services for everybody who have previously been active duty, but whole health is going to be at the forefront of that. So we plan to go down to MacDill, and we plan to interact with the active duty personnel before they leave their active service.
Dr. Paykel, we're about out of time. Is there anything that you want to leave us with?
I would just ask that the veterans who are not part of our healthcare system, we have one of the best healthcare systems in the country as far as the VA is concerned. Please give us the opportunity to help serve you, to lead you in the direction or help you move in the direction of a fulfilling life. That's really why we're here. We really want to help.
Well, we thank you for your service and for what you're doing for our veterans, and thank you for being here today.
It's been an honor. Thank you.
If you need more information about the Whole Health Life program, give James A. Haley Veterans Hospital a call at 813-972-2000 or look them up on the web at www.tampa.va.gov. That's going to do it for this edition of Today's Veteran. I want to thank our guest today, Dr. Jacquelyn Paykel, but most of all, I want to thank you for joining us. Remember, for help and information regarding claims, benefits, and services available to veterans and their families, call the Polk County Veterans Service Office at 863-534-5220 or log on to the Polk County website at polk-county.net. I'm your host, Tim Kirkhart, and we'll see you next month.